Here we go. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding.
Such a good introduction.
That was a sultry intro,
That was
Harvey.
great.
That was like
Paul over there producing.
Yes.
Great radio voice.
If you're just turning it on and you're from out of town, this is what we do here in Detroit. This is the sports station you got here on 97.1 The Ticket. It's going to be sports all day long. We're going to put some whoop. I can't say that word.
Open a can.
Open a can of that a little bit later today.
Detroit beatdown Lions tonight. The Detroit beatdown's about to happen.
We're just making sure the equipment's working. That's all we're doing.
It's
It's working right
beatdown.
here.
And here's the thing. We're on at 8 to 9 every week now. We've changed. 24 years from 9 to 10. They moved us back 8 to 9 because people all day want to talk about sports.
Yep.
They want to talk about the Lions, especially what's going on today. Lions are awesome. Look at the Red Wings now. Look at the Pistons now. Tigers are up and coming. So people want to talk about sports. Pat comes in after us at 9, but we're going to give people a dose of what we always do from 8 to 9, and we're going to talk about what's going on in the mortgage real estate market. We've got Michelle in. How do you do the proper introduction?
I'll do the whole thing. Mortgage
Cool.
real estate for 1 hour. Becky Yaley, of course, top 1% of all originators in the U.S. She's here. She's sitting over here to my left. And she brings in the great Michelle Saward, eXp Realty.
Let's go.
Michelle's traveled
Thank
all
you.
around the world to give us great stories and what's been going on. And
we're live and local. Unlike other shows that come on our pre-record and everything, we do it live. We're local. We know your
Unrehearsed.
area. Yeah, definitely unrehearsed, right?
Unrehearsed.
Trust me, there is no show prep.
No, zero.
Not really.
We might
I
think
literally
there
came
is,
in
but,
here like a skipping stone on all the puddles.
I've got some articles that I pulled out and stuff. Michelle
I
will
did. I
hold the
brought a
leash
fun
on.
fact.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
No,
let's
no.
talk about the time
Wait,
change.
I'm not saying we're not prepared. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is,
Yeah.
is that we know what we're doing, we're experienced, and we roll right in, and we want to get into it for everybody because we believe right now in the market. Michelle and I, we talked a little bit about what's going on for 2025. What changes have we made going into 25 versus 24? Because the real estate market and business in general is changing, Michelle.
Yeah. And I love what you said. You're completely right. We come in on two wheels sometimes. Why? Because we all in this room have unconscious competence.
Right.
We're
Ooh, I love that.
unconsciously so competent that this
Subconscious
can just
competence is a rule.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's legit. So I just brought like some just little breakdown of like what's going on in the housing market in 2024. Just wanted to just do a little recap. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And this new time of 8 a.m. I certainly appreciate that. But I will say, with the sports teams, as you mentioned, it's so freaking fantastic to see. And from a real estate perspective, the master plan for Detroit actually unfolding. It was like,
It
oh my
lifts
God, yeah.
everybody's spirits. It lifts everybody up.
But the plan from the get was like do the development and bring in restaurants and housing and then focus on the sports teams. And yay,
Yeah,
they
it's
didn't
happening.
forget the final bit of their, working on the sports teams and getting that thing up and running. So let's go Lions and
Yeah,
let's
the Lions
go
are
Wings
due.
and let's
Yeah,
go.
Lions are due.
Yeah, so that's good. But the 2024 housing market, just kind of recap. The report just came out. Why? Because it's like mid-January, and that's when they roll these things out when they look at the numbers. And when you look at the net bottom line, this mortgage business y'all are in, you guys are running the game in 2024 and 2025. I will tell you that because it just sort of started off, on a positive note in 24, and the mortgage rates they fell. They came down from like a 23-year high, and then they went back into the sixes, which is great. And then that got buyers, jumping and back on the fence. And then the rates climbed again, and then we saw a little bit of a stall out in April, and buyers pulled back. Then summer showed up, and we had more inventory to choose from, but that really didn't help the buyers too much in making their
rates
decisions.
went back up to 7. They were
Because
down to
the rates
6.5 for a blip.
Yep.
And now they're up at 7, a little over 7 right now, Michelle. And we see, so for 2025, Michelle, versus 2024, it's going to be more of the same.
Yeah, that's
what we're saying.
that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
They're saying that the economists are projecting that the home sales number of sales are predicted to increase, but so are home prices. So here we are again. And that the rates, just like we saw last year, are going to have a major impact on that consumer confidence. And we're seeing it right now. Look, winter is always slow in the seasonal Detroit market. Election years are ridiculously extra slow. I don't care. It doesn't matter who's in office. It's an election. It's uncertainty. And right now, we're experiencing that effect. We're like, election day is Monday. Or not election day. Inauguration day is Monday. you know what's going to happen, folks. You should have some confidence, but they're still a little hesitant right now.
People want to wait and see what's going on. One of the Fed governors came out last week and said that he expects, to start easing rates, but not in January. So they figure by July.
Okay.
But you want to know what I say to those people? I mean, I've got it written down so many times. Becky and I have gone to conferences. We went to a conference 2 years ago where they thought rates were going to go down to 5.5 by a specific date.
I think we both looked at each other with our eyes closed. We're like, no.
I wrote down, I've got the over. It's never going to go down this way, and it never happened. And they actually went up to those highs, like you said, in 23 years. If somebody tells you they know what a stock's going to do, they know what a rate's going to do, you've got to run away from those people.
Yeah.
Because they don't know. Nobody knows. I have a crystal ball.
I mean, if they're millionaire gazillionaires, I'd be like, hey, I'm looking at you and what you're saying.
I've got
Mr. Buffett? What was
I've got a crystal ball sitting on my desk. It's been there for 30 years.
Yeah.
It's blank. It tells me nothing. All right? There's nothing in it. So my point is that, well, what do we see? We see more of 24 in 25.
100%.
It's going to be a good year, a sales year. It's going to be a good mortgage year.
Yeah.
But rates aren't going down to 4%. They might go down maybe to 6.5. Maybe. But right now, you can't wait, because what's going to happen to those home prices, Michelle, come March and April? What are they going to do?
Okay, so it goes to that what you're saying, like
They're
the
going
unconscious. Would you say
unconscious competence?
Yeah, competence, right? So when you're in the business, as long as we have, you can identify patterns, okay? And when you can identify patterns, you can see kind of what's going to be happening. History tends to repeat itself. It doesn't have to necessarily be a negative thing, right? Because if you know what's coming, you adjust to it. And this goes out to our consumers. We know affordability is an issue for everywhere, groceries, gas, the things, right? But what we're saying is, the people that are buying these houses right now, they are ahead of the game, because what did Michelle say about 5 seconds ago? She said there's going to be a housing price increase and there's also going to be appreciation increase. That means that the people that bought houses last year are going to be able to maybe refinance, pull some equity out, or they can even upgrade a little bit. It just depends on what your life situation is. So you have to throw your hat in the ring, because the interest rates are arbitrary in the grand scheme of things, because you're locking in the price of the home. Right. Not the interest rate, because those change.
Michelle, what are you doing different now? Tell us what you're doing now in 2025. What's going on now?
Okay, I want to bolt on real quick to what she said, then I'll tell you what I'm doing in 25. What Becky just said, the numbers that they put out is that home prices increased 6.6% on average last year.
Run back the tape. We said about 5.
So, yeah. Okay. So when you're talking about these rates and being dictated, do that math. What are you talking about? A quarter point, and then the home prices went up 6.6% on the average sales price. Like, it's just simple math. So, obviously, home prices are raising higher than you should be probably concerned about the rate. Okay, there.
Yes. Yes.
Ta-da. Coming from the real estate agent who doesn't make any money on mortgage. Okay.
Right.
So, non-biased opinion. So, what am I doing in 2025? Gosh. We're reaching back. This sounds a little wild, but it's actually what's happening. We're reaching back to people who bought their home on very short order 2-4 years ago. Why? Because we're seeing more buyer remorse right now than I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
In my 24-year career.
So Becky talks about that almost every week. Becky talks about that
Yes.
almost every single week. So go ahead and expand on that, Michelle.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Am I stealing your thunder, dear?
No.
This is want you to expand on that.
This is why you're in the studios, because when you're in alignment with the right people, like I said, we see things that other people can't see, because we're not just looking at our nose. So I want to hear your perspective, because I do talk about this often.
Yeah.
You talk about it.
No, I just talk about it just to everybody. I talk about it to my people here.
Michelle, specifically, why do you think that is happening?
Because you've got this urgency. I mean, I've got people selling their homes after 5 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
One dude had occupancy for 90 days, couldn't move in for 90 days post-closing, and turned the keys back over to our office empty. He never moved in.
But he listed the home, I hope.
And he listed the home.
Okay, that's good.
But let me say this, I'll say why that is. Why that is that there's such this urgency to buy because we have a housing crisis. There's limited inventory, right? So people feel an extra bit of pressure that they have to get something or they're going to get nothing. And so they're making some mistakes for sure in their buying, and they're settling for something that is less than what they really want. Another thing that is been pretty highlighted. I want to say to the public listening, if you are a home buyer remorse buyer, have no fear. The market has appreciated. You should, in most cases, be able to get out of it with
Once you got into it?
financial, harm to yourself with very low. So if you're thinking, hey, you know what, I should probably get out of this house. It's not working for me. I moved into it and rushed too fast. Call your real estate professional. You're more than likely safe. Like, you can probably get out of it. So don't feel so trapped. But that buyer remorse thing, it's
real.
It's
Well,
crazy
Thank you
real.
for validating me.
I'm
You're
going
so
to comment
validated.
I'm going to comment on that.
Validating
I think there's a couple
It's
different
nuts.
kinds of remorse. There's remorse because they just can't afford it or bad things happen to
Yeah.
them. And then there's also, I wasn't educated enough. I made a mistake. I don't want to live here. Hey, wait a minute here. We have too much to talk about already. Up to our first
Yeah.
break. We want to hear from you. 248-539-9797. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Keep it here. That's right. You're listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We are powered by CMG Home Loans, NMLS 1820 Equal Housing Lender. You can catch us at Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW RATE, the best mortgage banker all weekend long. If we don't grab the call, definitely leave your name and phone number. We get back with you right away. And, of course, we take your calls
We do
here.
grab the calls, though. You know what I mean? And we call you back. We know how to answer our
phone lines are
phones.
off the hooks. Call us here in the studio,
Call me on my cell.
248-539-9797. Let me introduce Michelle again. Michelle Saward, eXp Realty. If you're thinking about buying a house, if you're just visiting Detroit to check us out today because you're in town for the game or something like that, this is really a cool place to be.
It is very cool. It's like nothing I thought I'd ever see in my life. Like, I remember in my 20s, well, probably, going down. I'm like, well, I'm kind of younger.
Sorry about that.
I probably did that. And you can only park in these certain areas downtown. And
tell me about
you can't park on the other side of the freeway. And you know what? And now it's like, what? I got a parking ticket? What? Like, it's crazy.
No,
like,
it's great. It's come back.
It's so beautiful.
And we're just rolling here. So everybody in from out of town, you're going to see a great game tonight.
Yeah.
Enjoy all the restaurants. There's going to be a lot of
electric.
activity. A lot of activity up and down Woodward. Listen, Pistons play today. Lions play tonight.
Oh, I like call it pep rally. Pep
I got
rally
2
too.
wins.
At the old Cobo. I don't know if they call it now. It's something, whatever they call it.
Huntington's
Huntington Place.
Huntington
Harvey, get
Place.
with it.
All right. I don't know what they call it. But
Get with it.
anyways, you have a pep rally down there too. If you got nothing going on, get down there for the pep rally. So it's all
Becky,
Detroit.
old school
So
pep rally.
Becky, speaking of answering calls, we were at a seminar this past week, Sunday through Tuesday, and there were a lot of great speakers there. And one of the speakers mentioned the fact that people aren't answering their phone. What's that all about? People calling people and people not calling them back. They specifically, Michelle, I hate to say it, they were talking about the real estate community. They were talking about people in the real estate community, whether they're a mortgage person, a title person, or a realtor. We're not answering our phone. I can only tell you here, the 4 people sitting in this room, we pick up on the first half second it calls.
I'm like, I do not identify with this.
I don't. Yeah,
No, and that's where it's like, it's beyond my mental
we were
comprehension.
sitting there and we were
yeah.
looking at each other. Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
I
Do
even
not
said I was going to
identify.
do a class at the end of the year that was going to be titled "Answer Your Freaking Phone."
Yeah.
And when you're in the room again, you're like, yes, because you see it, you feel it, and like Michelle and I, if I miss her, we call each other back so much that we're going back into each other's voicemails.
We did this last night, actually. It was like, she's texting me. It's going straight to voicemail. Going straight to voicemail.
I'm like, just stop calling me. I'm calling you.
I'm calling at the same time. It's ridiculous. But we were talking here at the break just a moment ago. I just looking at it here, y'all, they ain't making inexpensive houses anymore. They're not building them.
No.
Like if you look at the stats from last year, for average price range and what's sold, there's really not hardly anything on the market right now under $150,000. It's very difficult to find, if in fact there are. And we were talking at the break, if you're looking at a rental property because you want to get an inexpensive property, rents are silly high.
We're going to talk all about that too. Let's go to a call here, Michelle. We don't want to cut you off, but I know you're a ball of energy anyways.
Let's go. I got
all right.
one
Hey,
cup of
Mike,
coffee.
you're calling in from Livonia, Ann Arbor area. What's going on, Mike? Mike, you're live on the ticket. Can I hear you?
Oh, hi. Okay.
There you are. Hey, good morning.
I'm selling a house right now, and it's a big, big problem. My dad signed for me in '94. I've lived in this house for 30 years. It's in Westland, and it's under $150,000. I'm selling it for. But
Perfect.
he deeded it to me, but he also left his name on the deed, and he passed away in 2016.
Sure.
So now his name's on the deed along with my name.
That's all right.
And it seems to be causing a really, really, really big problem right now.
And
Like
it
my
shouldn't.
real estate agent's telling me it
No.
might have to go to probate.
No,
and all
Mike, it
this.
shouldn't.
I don't.
Not at all.
Okay,
I've never
Mike.
sold a house before.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So, Mike, it shouldn't be a problem. The title company is going to take care of that because you're going to provide a death certificate that shows your
I
father.
did already.
Yeah, they
I
should
already
have
did.
it.
I don't know if I have a bad real estate agent or what.
We're going to help you. We're going to call you after the show. We'll put you in the right direction. We'll set you up with some
I
people
would
that can clear
appreciate
this
it
up
so
for you.
much.
Because
I am really freaking out here right now.
well, don't freak out.
Yeah,
I had this
you got
happen.
something to say on it too?
I had this happen. I had this happen.
I've already dropped the price of the house $20,000. Like I'm
You got-
selling it for $20,000
Yeah.
less than
I
what I
only got
wanted
one question.
as it
No,
is.
we got to talk to you.
Hold
sir.
on one second. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take care of it for you. I had the same situation. I had my mother passed away, and I ended up selling the house. And we know how to do this. We've done this several times. It should not be a problem.
Mike, can I have a quick question for you before we let you
Yeah,
go
he's
here?
on title. That's what
And he's on title already. He already was deeded.
course.
Mike,
Yeah.
where did you find your real estate agent? That's my question this morning.
It's a guy I went to high school with.
My
Okay.
man.
Okay.
You know what I
Well, you
mean? Like,
reached out
this
to an
guy
old
sells
friend.
real estate.
All right.
That's it. I did not, is he good? Is he bad? He has a full-time job doing something else, too.
Well, there you go.
We'll
Okay.
take
It's
care
like
of it
a
for you.
part-time gig.
We'll call you. We'll put you in touch with the title company. If you need Michelle on the case, she'll get on the case for you. So
Piece of
we'll
cake.
straighten this
And
out,
it's
and
like
you
my
won't
dad's
freak
been-
out.
Yeah, my dad's been gone since 2016. We sold the house that he was living in, years ago.
Right.
What a great
I've
call.
lived in the home for 30 years. I'm trying to sell it, and the price
Mm-hmm.
of everything, I'm going broke over here, paying for this, paying for that. I had to put a roof, do this. I just put a new furnace in this house.
This
House I'm selling.
Mike,
You-
thanks for the call. It's great
Yeah.
stuff.
Mike calling in, that was actually a great call, because when people don't know like how this can work in real estate, they just feel very handcuffed and limited in their options. And no problem, we'll call him back after the show and walk him through it, but he shouldn't be running into these kind of brick walls.
Well,
No, and that's where, as soon as we're all hearing it, all of us were like, what?
Oh,
I'm
God,
like,
yeah.
what?
And he just said he's
That's
got
like-
a house for 150 grand. That should be a hot potato right now. That thing
Well,
should be
especially
like
because you just
gone.
literally mentioned $150,000 before we took the call. I
Can't
mean,
find one for 150.
You
He goes,
can't.
I'm
It's so
selling it for
hard.
150.
He's like, I'm selling one.
Great.
I'm like, okay, he should be running into these kind of troubles.
no. And so if you're on,
Unbelievable.
the key thing is that he said he's on title, right? So when you're on title, he already has ownership. So there's no need for probate. That is something that is
No.
protecting him. You just need a death certificate. Done. This is like a blocking and tackling layup kind of drill for anyone in the real estate community. Or if you're going through this should be a very simple thing if that's the facts.
Yeah, I think it's important to know that we do this 1,000 times a day, 7 days a week. So people that don't do it, run into these issues. They just have to know where to call, get hooked up with the right people. And that's what it's all about. Being a consumer advocacy show, doing this for a long time, that's the service that we offer. And we want to make sure he gets taken care of. We'll call him after the show. We'll put him with the right people, and he will be at ease. And then when it happens, he'll call us up the next week and say, can't believe it happened. Like
was
you
so
guys said
easy.
it was. Yeah, it was so easy.
Wills in estate planning, wills trust and estate planning, very key stuff. But
Yeah.
as
Oh,
yeah.
simple as a quick, clean deed. Oh, it's so
Well-
easy. When if your parents are around now, walk them down. If they're already on your mortgage, if you're not on the title to the house, get your name on that deed. Get
Or
your name
get
on
it
title.
within a real estate planning attorney and do a ladybird deed. There's a million different things, but real title companies, they won't do a ladybird deed. That has to be prepared by
Right.
an attorney.
We're not attorneys. We don't play them on the radio. We're
Nope.
not CPAs. It's just
That's why you speak to an attorney on certain things, and we will advise you on that.
Michelle,
Yeah,
it looks so easy because the great real estate agents, they close houses all the time. They list homes. They
Yep.
work with buyers. They're doing so much volume. They're answering their phones, all these great things. So a lot of sellers out there like this, I'll just reach out to my old buddy Bill, who does this part-time.
Billy Joe Jim Bob's out here doing the things.
It's just not a good play. You definitely want to
Yeah.
go. You definitely want to go ahead and get your professionals involved. Maybe and make an extra phone call.
Trust is very important. So, that is one of the highest levels of, first line is go with trust. Secondary, definitely go with, who do you really feel the most comfortable and confident with that's actually going to be a professional in this? Look, if I show up to a family member's house that I'm going to be listing and I'm showing up sloppy and just acting like, I'm rolling in here on two wheels and disrespecting disrespecting one of their largest financial investments that they're making, I need to put that hat on and walk in as the real estate agent, not walk in like I'm coming for Thanksgiving dinner. Like there's so
It's a difference. I
it's
like
a
that.
Totally
That's a good analogy.
It's just a totally different game. So if I'm not discrediting whoever Mike was working with because I really don't know the backstory, but our caller that came in, but
and there could always be more to the story that we're
was-
not hearing.
100%.
There could be. That's why we
So
have
we
to
will
check
peel
it out.
back the layers.
Yeah, 100%. It's just super important. But yeah, before Mike called in, we were just saying that, rents are pretty silly right now. Becky was saying that she's got some people that are stuck between a rock and a hard place right now where, the rents are pretty much equal to what they're paying in their mortgage and the house is just not suitable for them right now. So it's like, it's a situation where it's like, look, if you can find a way, anyway, I don't care if it's gift funds or whatever you got to do to buy, do it.
Have the conversation, right? You don't know what you don't know, and it all starts with the conversation. But the rental market is more strict, in my opinion, than the housing market because there's, what they are making you do. If, like, I have friends of mine, they're looking to rent and they have to provide pay stubs and all the same things. And I'm going to ask them to buy a mortgage. So I was like, let's pre-approve you. Let's see what you can do and get you into a home.
Mm-hmm. Hey, let's go to our second caller of the day, and we do take your calls all morning long. And of course, Pat Caputo comes and joins us here at 9 o'clock. 248-539-9797. Antonio from Macomb, good morning. Welcome to the show.
How are you guys? Thank you for having me.
Good morning.
So, listening to your guys' last caller, so we have a place up in Port Austin by the water.
Yes.
There was a lady down the street from the city. She was selling 2 plots of land. We ended up making an offer, bought 2 plots of the land, went through the city, went through a title agency, which for sure they messed up, but in the long run, where you paid taxes on one plot, never got the other one, the lady's trying to pay the taxes on the other one because she still got it and says, I can take over the property again, one of the plots of land. But on the deed, we have both paperwork. But she went through where her mother died and then she inherited it and then sold it. So what process do I go over? Because the title agency is not getting back to us, speaking about not answering calls. They literally been avoiding us, and it's been a headache. We finally got back in touch with them, my sister and myself, and we're now going through what change we need to make sure everything's registered properly for that property. But I don't know what else to do because they're not responsive to title agency, and on top of that, the lady wants to basically pay the tax to land, says she can get it back, which I don't think is true, but unless I'm wrong.
The first thing that's popping off to me is that you may have wrote up these 2 plots on one purchase agreement, and maybe both tax IDs were not on the purchase agreement. Is what I'm guessing in piecing this together.
We did write them up together. So you are right about that.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. So if you have a deed, if you have a deed that's showing both tax IDs, that should be all that the municipality needs to show that you are the rightful owner of record, and that you should, and whoever pays your taxes, whatever they paid your taxes.
Yeah, were the taxes delinquent for a long period of time that might have gone into a tax foreclosure, or what was the situation on the tax?
I couldn't tell you. It must have been just the yearly tax, is my understanding.
All right, so why don't we give you a call? We'll give you a call to go through it because, again, it's going to be a little bit more complicated, but we can help solve the situation and get you in touch with the right people. Is that okay?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we want to do that for you. Yeah,
Thanks, Antonio. We got your
unroll
number.
this,
We'll definitely reach back out to you. 248-539-9797. We take all your calls all morning long here. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. We're up against our second break. We're here until 9 o'clock. And then, of course, Pat Caputo, he'll be coming in with sports. Keep it here. We'll be right back. All righty, welcome back. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Yeah, it's 8:31 here in Metro Detroit. If you're just from out of town or something, this is the sports station, but we do the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate and Business Show. That's right. If you want to buy a house, we offer mortgages in all 50 states. We are brought to you by CMG Home Loans.
Have you noticed that Paul's doing Detroit-themed music today?
The guys
Did
are
you know that?
losers.
He's
I
unbelievable.
mean,
He's
you know, why
all
would
about
we
Detroit.
not?
He's on fire right now.
My buddy Jack White shares the same name as my grandfather. He started off the show with that. We got lots of calls, and we want to keep the vibe going here. Again, if you're thinking about buying a house or selling a house, we got Michelle Saward sitting here, EXP Realty.
Legend.
Working with experts
Real estate
is so
titan.
fun. Like, literally, the transactions I'm working on now, the three of them are just wonderful agents, and they're next for the next few deals that I'm going to close this month. And then one of them, she just doesn't want to communicate. And whether it's a he or she or anybody, it's communication. Michelle, you'll tell us a little bit about that. Let's do this, Michelle, because we have so much going on here, and we got some calls. Let's move off to Lloyd in Westland. Cool. Thanks for calling, Lloyd. You got a home equity question. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so about 6 years ago, I got a house on a 3-year land contract for $27,000, and it needed some work done to it. But after we were done with the land contract, she gave us a quick claims deed instead of a warranty deed.
Okay.
And I was trying to find a bank or someone that would, remortgage the house so we can get some of the
equity
work done to it.
Yeah, you want some
I'm
cash.
running into a problem with that. Right.
Well, it sounds like a pretty easy fix. Now, I'm a little concerned. When you bought the house, you used your own cash. You bought it for cash. Was there a title company involved? Did you have some real estate agents involved? Who else was involved?
My wife actually worked for a title company at the time, Embassy Title Agency. And
Okay,
drew
yeah, they're
up
great.
The quick claims deed. So that's all legit. We have the deed. It's just that we're just finding it to be a hard situation to.
Okay, what's the value of the house currently? Do you know the current value of the house?
I don't. When I went on Zillow a few years ago, I think it was around 86,000 to 100,000 was the estimate.
And you're looking to take how much out to continue the repair work?
$20,000 to $30,000 to redo, because the kitchen floor needs to be done in the cabinets and a remodel of the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah, so this seems like pretty easy. So are you still in the land contract technically? Is that what I'm hearing you?
You said it was deeded.
No, the house has been paid for the last.
Okay, fine. So now you have technically a free and clear
off.
house. Yes. So this is pretty easy. Super simple. This should be we can blaze through it as long as the credit's there and we're going to qualify you properly. We'll definitely give you a call after the show and get into the nits and grits and all the things. But there should be no issue with being able to pull the cash out, assuming the credit is there.
There might be a situation where, for some reason, the land contract holder added you to he did a quick
we have
claim
to
deed
look at
while you
that
were
stuff.
doing that. Yeah, I don't know how that closing went down, but he might have protected himself and kept his name on title. We just might need that person to show up and say, "No, I've already been paid in full, and we're all done."
Yeah,
here.
we'll get the discharge. We're going to do the things. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes with title, right? That title is kind of that thing that no one talks about, but it's very pertinent to make the mortgage go very seamless as well as the real estate, right? That's why they come in at the end of us.
Lloyd, that's a great call. We'll follow up with
but
you.
Embassy
Thanks for
is
calling.
top notch, so I'm not worried about that. We'll reach out to them.
Close with the title company. So often, Becky, we talk to people who sign these land contracts.
They're
and it's not done.
unrecorded. They're just out here
It's
just
a mess.
flitting the
Typically
belt.
a mess. Yeah, make that phone call. Hey, Daryl. Daryl from White Lake. What do you got going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Real good, sir. Turn down that radio if you can, Daryl. We want to hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, I'm about to. I'm about to. Right?
My man, appreciate you. Okay.
Okay.
Daryl,
here's
my neighbor, what's
situation.
going on?
Okay. Oh, you in White Lake too?
Well, no, I'm in Waterford off of Cass Lake, but I'm always in
we're
White
like
Lake.
Visa. We're everywhere you want to be.
Wait a minute. I feel like I live at that Tractor Supply over there on M59. You know my hometown there across from Oxbow Lake. You know that place.
Yeah, I was at Oxbow Lake. My home, I sold it. It was very close to that. Anyway, I hooked up with a buddy of mine who was a realtor, and I just want to say this. He was representing me. I was the seller as well as the buyer. So I don't know if there could have been a conflict of interest there or whatnot. But anyway, I sold the house, and they never did an inspection.
Okay.
So when I sold the house, I think they kept like $7,300 just for particulars or whatnot, and I can't get my money back. And the title company I think is blowing smoke up my behind and whatnot. And they're telling me these people just won't sign off. So I'm wondering, what do I do to get my $7,300?
So
I got out a day early, and they said that I got out late, but they kept running into problems closing, and that's where I'm at. I got all my money except the $7,300 where I was supposed to get it upon leaving. And like I said, I left a day early. They said I didn't leave quick enough, but I actually left a day early.
Daryl, did you have specific terms on what needed to be done for you to get the $7,300 back? Like, did you need to, like sometimes we're doing a pool escrow right now?
It sounds like an occupancy escrow, or was it a repair escrow?
Yeah, why did they hold that $7,300?
It was an occupancy. It was based on occupancy.
It was an occupancy.
I got out. I even left my lights and gas on for like 2 days so it could be a smooth transition for them.
Okay.
And these people are just giving me the runaround, and they're saying, "Well, we don't know what to do." So I'm thinking somebody's holding my money.
Daryl,
because it was like if they never signed off, how do I get my money?
So Daryl, any documentation you have about key surrender, I don't care if it's a text message, an email, a verification of a form you signed when you dropped the keys, anything that you can pull up about that. Typically, the title company holds those escrows. So if you can show the title company that you had key surrender, they should be able to release that escrow to you. It doesn't necessarily need two parties to sign off on that exchange. If you as the seller have evidence that these are the days that you surrendered, that should be what title company needs.
No question about that, because I gave the keys to the mortgage guy, so they know all of this.
Yeah, the mortgage guy shouldn't have taken the keys.
No,
I would take it to the title company.
Yeah.
Take this information to your title company, and
I already have done that.
All right, Daryl, just so everybody can hear, so we can get a proper perspective on this. You closed, and then how long from the time that you closed did you move out?
Mm-hmm.
I would say within 15, 14 days.
Okay. And I'm sure you had, so to me, a $7,300 occupancy escrow for 15 days to me.
That doesn't make sense.
Listen, sounds a little high, Daryl, and that's what you're saying to me. If you want your money back, we'll help you get the money back, because we'll go ahead and call you and give you a step-by-step tutorial on how to get it back. So we're going to ask some really specific questions, and we'll help you make some calls, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There, we'll follow up with you.
Thank you very much, sir.
You got it, my man.
Problem.
All right, man. Thank you.
You
guys, folks, stop clicking buttons out there. Again, this is a weird morning for me. You guys are dealing with, can I say it? They're incompetent people across the United States.
You know what? Wait, we have to stop. We've got to make sure that we've got everything.
All right.
We're only hearing one side of the story, guys. I'm not saying what these people are saying aren't true, but there's usually more to the story.
Yeah, we're not trying to put on our shady boots here, but
something with that last caller with
$7,300 for an occupancy escrow.
That's a lot.
Is
for 15 days?
I don't care if it's for 2 months.
For 15
it sounds high,
right?
Yeah, like for
right.
That would be on $1 million loan.
I'm on the 15 days.
I was like $7,000 for 15 days.
I was like, was he in there for 75 years? Like, no, it's 15 days.
That's a long time.
We're gonna find out.
But there, that's important too in buttoning up some of these contracts. Like, I just did one for my niece, and they had a repair escrow, and the seller held out proceeds, so that my niece could do the repairs,
which is normal.
And she had 120 days, very specific, post closing to turn in, my niece did as the buyer, her receipts for the work to prove. Right. And if it wasn't a receipt for work, like she bought freaking candy bars, she wasn't going to get, reimbursed for candy bars. She was going to get back, money for, repairing the doors on the inside of the house, or what, what I mean? Like it was for the sliding door, whatever. Right. Like it needed to be, it was specific. It was measurable. It had a date. It had an end game on it. It was like, if these funds are not received by the title company by December 20th, the seller gets to keep all of those proceeds that were in escrow. Like, it's very clearly spelled out.
Right.
Like,
I don't know why a mortgage person is taking keys.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Unless it's your brother-in-law. But I don't, it's just not something that we do. We're not involved in that.
Unfortunately, you do see in real estate, I haven't seen it with y'all here at CMG. I've not seen it here, but I have seen, especially this week, that was another one that hit me square in the face. a mortgage lender acting as a real estate person.
No, that's not stay in our lane.
It's
I mean,
so
you can't.
freaking disturbing to me when I see that happening. This particular client didn't even know he had a realtor. He thought he was buying something for sale by owner, and that the mortgage lender was all he needed.
They're not even sharing the truth with them, which is more
Didn't
disturbing.
even share the
not
truth.
cool. Let's go back to the escrow holdback.
I want to stay on this though, because wait a minute, because like this is the truth of the matter. What we're saying is people don't understand contracts, right? And there is such that like where he's like, don't click buttons, but to have that moment where it's like you have someone that's can I write up a purchase agreement? Sure, but am I going to? No, because that's not my expertise.
Yeah.
That is not my expertise, and you need to be properly represented by a real estate professional in this market specifically for this reason. Because I'm not a trained professional when it comes to those specific contracts on the escrow holdback, these repair things, right? That's where I lean on someone like Michelle, who is so beyond what people can even understand of her expertise and her knowledge in this room. You just can't even understand what she can.
That
she
blew
knows.
my mind.
Yeah, you got to watch Judge Judy. She always talks about these contracts. You got to have it in writing, folks. All right, we got a lot more to share with you. It's 8:42 here in Metro Detroit. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. We'll be right back. Good morning, everyone listening. Of course, we are kicking off the vibe here. Detroit Lions, 8 o'clock tonight. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. There's tons of sports. And there's Pistons later tonight. And the whole Metro Detroit scene. Becky, you love it. You're going to the game.
Yeah, I'm going to the game. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to be with Cyrus Reeler, Match Realty. We're going to have a good time there, too.
All right, let me throw this out there. We got some really cold weather coming up. And again, all of our home inspectors are always reminding us, if we could just share a little bit of information. Again, if you don't have the proper insulation, I mean, it's going down to minus 20 with the wind chill. No. Try to keep your cabinet doors open. You need your pipes freezing in your house. So again, whatever deferred maintenance, whatever you think you could come up with before the game starts tonight at 8 o'clock, do that. You can put some wrap around some of your pipes. We have a crawl space. We encapsulated it. We have a vent down there. We're constantly thinking about things that could go wrong. And again, homeowners, be responsible. Yeah. And again, keep those cabinets open. Drip the water too, Michelle, if you want to do that. I tell people in these colder weathers, if you have an older house, keep the water dripping. Maybe just on those days, maybe Monday and Tuesday, those days.
Yeah. And, and for all my real estate agent friends out there, if you've got vacant listings,
yes,
please just go preview these things. Make sure that the heat is still on. Make sure that there's no busted pipes or that there's everything's, prepared for this. And if you're a homeowner that has a vacant property, it's easy for you to still pop in and out. Please just go do that.
That's such good advice, because just because it didn't happen last winter, it can still happen this winter, right?
Yeah.
And when you're talking about 0-degree temperatures, and we're used to that here in Michigan.
Yeah.
But when you own a house, there's preventative things that you can do. Okay, the windows, make sure they're all sealed. Everything you want to do. Because it's going to be cold.
Yeah. See, why when we get the snow, I'm like, let's go sledding. Then it's like, no, it's so cold. My eyelids are going to be frozen open because my eyeballs are going to freeze. It's like, I don't understand. I want to go sledding.
You need like 30 degrees and 10 inches of snow and you're ready to go.
Hey, you know it's cold when your dog doesn't want to even go outside.
No.
So you know it's cold.
I'm glad you said that,
Listen, Petrie won't even go out in the rain.
Yeah.
All right, we're a very pet-friendly show here, so definitely, if you got any pets, make sure you bring them inside, please.
We like them. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely bring them in. But just please check your stuff. You don't need anything extra expenses right now. You should be saving that money for those houses towards getting them sold and buying another one, not towards repairs.
We have open phone lines, 248-539-9797. It's our Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. I'm Harvey Free. Let me go around the room here. Harry Glanz, Becky Alley, and of course, Michelle Saward from eXp Realty. We take your calls all morning long at our new time, 8 to 9 o'clock, and it's really fun. I got all this information here to share with everybody, and we haven't gotten to it because there's so much relevant stuff.
There's so much, but this is real. The conversations that we had today were real life conversations, the things that go on behind the scenes that sometimes you take advantage because we're not take advantage, but we take for granted because we do this so much that the average person is really battling these little itty bitty things that are we think is nothing because they're not in alignment with the right people.
These callers that we had, it just across the board, a lot of title issues.
Well, the paperwork nightmare, it's real.
Yeah.
It's real on our side of the table. It's real on your side of the table. And we have to come together to make sure that it's okay for the title company, because all they do is they just gather everything. I'm not diminishing it. They check the title. They make sure there are no outstanding liens, mechanics liens. They go ahead and collect the money. They disperse the funds to the proper places. But it's all about, and everybody says, well, we're going paperless. We're not going paperless.
Right.
All right, trust me when I tell you, we're not going paperless. Yeah. You need documentation to go ahead and make sure these transactions are very buttoned up and they're very secure. Sounds like our callers, a lot of loose ends on there.
Yeah.
$7,300 for if it's real, an occupancy escrow.
That's insane.
So we're
still caught up on it.
Take it past it.
We've got to unravel that for him, and this is what we do, and this is what we want to do. We want to make sure everybody's taken care of out there, so when they go into a transaction, they can lay their head down on their pillow at night and sleep.
Yeah,
because there's other things to worry about. This shouldn't be one of them.
Yeah, along those lines too, with this unraveling, I'm seeing this now. People not understanding how to take title, rights of survivorship and tenants in common. Those get misconstrued. Yeah. And that one fella that called in, I think it was
that comma matters.
Yeah, it's like
comma matters.
It's like, hey, when I die, who gets ownership of this property? So, is it my spouse? Or is it nope? you know what? I die. It just completely goes to, to Harvey.
Joint tenants with rights to survivorship, joint
Yeah.
tenancy, right? Those are a little bit different
They're
again.
big.
So when you get into rental properties and you want to do investments, or if just boyfriend and girlfriends buy homes, they're not quite married yet, right? You got to go ahead and get that all
It's a
figured out.
conversation to have with your realtor and to make sure you understand exactly how you're purchasing it and who has vested interest.
If you feel a little bit more optimistic about mortgage rates, you're not alone. But remember that rates are only one piece of the puzzle. It's crucial also.
It's a piece of cake to make a cake, but it's a piece of the cake,
It's just a piece of the cake. Secure a great mortgage with people you can trust and understand a game plan. So when it's come time to refinance, you know who to go right back to those people. Let's continue our calls. 248-539-9797. You got Rich from Warren. Good morning, Rich. Go ahead with your question. Hey, Rich. Here we go. Okay. There he is. Hey, Rich. How you doing?
Oh, hang on a second. Yeah,
That's okay.
All right, we're hanging on.
Yeah.
We'll just hang on.
Paul's over there juggling all the calls today
Yeah.
anyways. Hey, Rich, what's going on? We only got a few minutes left. Go ahead.
all right. Well, okay. Well, I'm trying to turn can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure
Go ahead.
can.
All right. Well, I got 3 phones going and listen to you on the radio. So,
Okay.
okay, what I want to do is turn a regular home into a nonprofit home, okay? And allow it to, I'm turning the radio down. I had to go over and get it. So that it has 7 bedrooms, okay, and 4 bathrooms. And I want to be able to offer it to people that are on state income, okay?
Yeah. You want to turn
All
your
right.
home into a space for people who are, like you said, disability or whatever their situation is, a group home.
Absolutely. And
It's
I
a lot of
pretty
work.
much know how to do it,
Yeah.
but I need help to do it correct. I don't want any problems for the people that own the home.
Mm-hmm.
They're not upside down in it. They're comfortable, but they want to move to a warmer climate and be snowbirds, so to speak, okay?
It's a lot of work. We have a lot of inside scoop on that. I'm glad you brought it up. Harry's
listen
partner
to
might
you
know a
guys
thing or two
faithfully.
about a group home. Our buddy Dan actually had, I don't know if I can
Yeah,
say
we can
that.
go ahead and we'll give you a call and we'll make suggestions on how to do that for you. It's
Okay,
gonna take some time to do it. It's not an overnight process, so you're gonna have to get
I got a lot of it
certifications.
done, but
yeah,
thank
did
you.
Did you get your certifications and everything? Did you get a
No,
lot?
not yet. But
Okay.
I'm going to stop talking. That's why I'm calling you guys.
All right, so good. So we'll get you hooked up with that, and we've had experience with that. So just let us go ahead and take care of that for you, Rich, and we'll make sure it gets done the right way because you have to be pretty buttoned up when you're going to go ahead and turn a home into, a facility of that nature. So we'll just help you out with that.
All right. Thanks for the call, Rich. 248-539-9797. Yeah, that whole thing with group homes, you got to have people there all the time taking care of the folks that are living there. You need to have people on staff. You need chefs. You need nurses.
Health department.
There's a lot going on that. But yes,
Yeah.
plenty of people have been successful with it. And again, we have an aging population, so good enough.
I think it's a good idea for him. It really sounds good.
Yeah.
The house is certainly big enough.
Yeah.
You got to make sure, there's zoning issues. Could be.
Yep.
So, we just got to go over the checklist with him and we'll get him pointed in the right direction.
Yeah.
I love that.
Sounds like he did. Sounds like he's done some homework.
Yeah.
So that's good. If he's got a plan, he's sticking to the plan. He just needs now to bring it all together. So we'll help him out with that.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing too that I wish it was so much easier to find was ADA approved housing.
Right.
I wish that was just like an easier search for us as real estate agents. So if you are a buyer that
Tell
needs,
someone what ADA stands for.
American Disabilities Act.
Yep.
So if you need like wide doorways and you need ramps or you need lower sinks or like these are the kinds of things. It's they don't really make it so easy as a real estate professional to sort of find these properties. You have to be patient and give it a bit of time. But there really should be some box that we check. I think like that.
Yeah.
whatever,
But
and then make it a
goes
priority
in
for people.
it goes in that category of some real estate professionals and mortgage professionals. They don't know, right? So they don't even know. Like they'll check a manufactured house when really it's a modular, or it's a modular when it's really a manufactured. And then we have to go in there and be like, wait a minute, there's an affidavit of fixture with title, right? We talked about title before this last caller, right? Title has such a silent, intricate, very key part
Well, oh, yeah.
in every transaction that is done, and they just don't know.
But if you're really there to help and serve your client, you're going to do the deep dive in these things. You're going to see if the mobile home has the tags or the title, right?
Yeah,
Becky,
but they
or-
hide it. They hide them, and sometimes we have to be the ones
Yeah.
that are like,
There's no
"Hey,
question.
something's up with this house."
I'm
right?
just glad that we can do that. I'm
Yes.
just glad that we have the wherewithal and
Yeah.
the knowledge to go ahead and help these people out. And Look, Rich is going to get this done. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's not an overnight situation.
No.
So we'll get it done for him.
But when you're talking about like the manufactured and the modular, Becky, a lot of our listeners don't even know that you can get financing on some of those.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was even a conversation in our real estate office. We had a real estate agent saying, I got a little problem here.
Yeah, they don't own the land. That's the key.
Or even like a double wide. Like you have to have 2 tags.
But if it's if it was built before 1976 or 78, what is it? 76 or 78? That's a huge problem because
76.
76, because you can't guarantee the structure was built of the codes. There's certain codes that FHA and Fannie Mae, they make us live and die by. So
we were going to get technical with no more time left in the show
Yeah,
here.
I
But the
know.
music says that's going to be it, though. We got sports coming up next. We can't get into CPI and PPI and all that stuff, but Michelle Saward, you're great. Call her at EXP Realty down in the Trenton office. Michelle Saward, always thanks for having you, Michelle. Tons of energy, and we'll do another hour next week or something with you.
Let's so exciting.
All right,
Thank you
keep it
very
here.
much.
97 won the ticket, guys. We
Go
got
Lions.
craziness
Let's
going
go.
on here.
Come on now. Let's
Go, Lions.
Let's go.
Here we go.
See you next week, 8 a.m.
There you go.